So the video that I have uploaded it's basically it's news, it's CNN. Mr. Michael, which is he's the host of the CNN host, the anchor. He's basically talking to his audience, to the people that are watching him, and Michael's stating how we should wear masks at all times because of the virus that is going around, right? And basically, Michael, he's the sender of the message. He's sending a message, and it's going through a channel. That channel is gonna vary depending on where you're watching it. For example, me, I'm watching it on YouTube. Some people are gonna be watching it on Facebook Live, perhaps if they watched it live, or maybe on TV. It varies. The channel varies, but the message stays the same. Eventually, it gets to our ears. The message in our brain decodes that message, and that's the basic, the linear model, which was made way back then. It's not contemporary. Then later on in that video, we could see how Mr. Michael then starts sending a message to Mr. Howard. He's a reporter, saying how the WHO was recommending people to only wear masks if they're coming in contact or taking care of somebody that's suspected of having a coronavirus or COVID-19. And what we can see is how Mr. Howard, the reporter, is nodding like this. So that's sending feedback to Michael, the sender who sent the message through the channel, but their channel is different. They're sending it through microphones that they're wearing. Eventually it gets to Mr. Howard, and Mr. Howard, his brain decodes that message, and he sends feedback. So that's the interactive model, which includes feedback. Then later on, the transactional communication model. That's the new one, the contemporary one, which basically says that you can be both a sender and a receiver. And later on, when Mr. Howard gets the message, he starts talking about how there's a study that actually shows how coronavirus can be prevented by wearing cloth of mask. It doesn't necessarily have to be the N95 mask or those big mask, or not necessarily prevented, but it could help reduce it. So basically, Mr. Howard is responding to Mr. Michael, and then Mr. Michael interrupts him and shows him a black cloth, which is what he uses as a mask. And there you can see how both can be a sender and a receiver at the same time, which this is the contemporary the contemporary model that we are currently using. So yeah, those are basically the three models. It's the linear, it's the interactive model, and the other one is the transactional model, which states that you can be both a sender and a receiver at the same time.